are connected. They do mic check.
Oh, yeah. Check 1, 2. That should be good.
Yeah, you're good.
Perfect.
While across most of the United States the past handful of weeks we've had tumultuous weather, we try to have a calm, subtle day in a video game here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the running of round 4 of the XRS playoffs. Tonight will determine who's in, who's out, who's going to pack their bags and go home and have to remove those playoff banner and front spoiler for Homestead next week, and who's going to be able to keep them and have a chance to fight for the championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. I'm Fan2403, joined alongside AKDJ2006, and AK, like it's been said, tonight's the night. Tonight is your opportunity to see if you can lock yourself in a championship 4 position, or if you're going to pack up and go home. What kind of racing could we expect tonight, especially from these playoff drivers? Could we see defensive driving from guys who are already in, and a more aggressive from the guys are out looking in, or what could we expect tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on where you are in these standings. Obviously, if you're below the cut line, you're going to be fighting for every single position and defending for every single position. If you're in the cut line and just barely above of it, like Oracle is, at 6 points above it, you're going to be definitely defending and fighting for every position as well. But if you're someone like MVP, who really just needs to have an okay finish at this race, you might not be going for every position. You're not going to take the risks and the chances, because if you do finish last in the race, you could be not out, but you could have a very poor shot of being in it still or having that nice bumper. So for people like MVP, you might just take it, you know, slow, not make any risky moves. If you need to give up a position, you give up a position. For people like Oracle, who are just above the cut line, you're going to be very aggressive with your moves. You're going to make sure you can fight for a position, because you don't know where your other opponents are, so you need to have every position you can. For people who are just outside of it, like Car Racer, you're going to be fighting for every single spot, and you're going to be defending for every single spot, because you need to get into the championship for those points to battle for the Final Four.
Yeah, and trying to figure out where you are, who you need to beat, how many points is each position worth, especially when you get up close to that top 5. Practice, very competitive lap times we had in practice. We had about a half second difference from 1st to 10th. So the top 10 all fairly fast within each other. Vanquished the fastest in practice, running a 47, I believe he ran a 47.5, 47.4, and 10th place was getting close to those 47.9s. So very much competitive lap times. Looking like Vanquish, as we're riding along with him, is gonna probably get the pole. And MVP currently not in the actual qualifying lobby because we're still waiting on him to make an appearance. So that could be a developing story. If he does not show, then that could make it to where, hey, if MVP does not show up, Vanquish parked at the front, start checkered finish. But if MVP does not show up for tonight's race, then that could make it to where he's not guaranteed. He is 27 to the good, so if he does start tonight, then there's not really a lot that he needs to do. He just needs to maintain his positioning, like you stated.
Yeah, and with MVP, if he does show, I mean, obviously, most likely we'll see him in the top 10 because he's still a very fast driver, but I don't think we'll see him being super aggressive with moves, making late blocks at this track, fighting into the corner for the position, maybe bumping somebody out of the way, because especially in this race, you do not want enemies on this track. You want to have a lot of friends around you, and you want your teammates helping you, the more enemies you make, the harder you're going to be to get into the playoffs, because that person may not give you the position, may not want to draft with you, may pick somebody else to draft with you at this track. So you just need to be very, especially in MVP's position, you need to be just very cautious and aware of your surroundings, and just take it one car at a time, one lap at a time.
Yep, and now, as we have been doing, excuse me, I have been feeling under the weather lately, so bear with me. I will probably cough, sneeze a couple times during the broadcast, but I'm going to be all right, I promise. I'm only partially ill, but not dying. So, like we have been throughout the entire playoffs, that I've been able to broadcast at least, we will get a handful of playoff drivers in here. We're gonna try to get D-Dog in here. Oracle, I think he just left the lobby, probably to either restart his console or his game, whatever he might be doing. But for sure, we're gonna get D-Dog in here because he's one of those drivers on that cut line. Hello, D-Dog.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. No, I'm kidding.
Damn it, you beat me to the joke.
Yeah, so D-Dog, make sure you have your mic connected.
It is.
All right. So, D-Dog, going into the night's race, it's the final race of the playoffs. You currently are to the good, but you're not that far to the good. You have a 7-point gap to the good. You know how big those point gap separations can be, especially in those top 5 positionings where it's not a 1-point separation between every spot. But knowing that you have 7 points to the good, is that something that you're going to be really focusing on tonight, or no, you're going to be trying to be more defensive with your positioning, or still go all out and try to get the win tonight?
To be completely honest, I really don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I just really wanted to focus on trying to be as close as I was, speed-wise, to last time we came here. I'm not quite there. I've got a little bit of speed to make up, but I was getting there in practice. And up to 4th in qualifying here, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But I don't know. We'll kind of see how this plays out. Still forgot our last-minute pitch strategy. Still got to do all that, but I guess we'll see. I normally like to kind of play it safe and then leave my aggression towards the end. But I guess it's really going to depend on the guys around me and how everybody wants to race, whether or not they're in the playoffs or just regular guys out here racing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fighting tonight, not just amongst the playoff drivers, maybe some playoff spoilers. Maybe to have a non-playoff driver run well here at Indianapolis. Or potentially some of those playoff drivers towards the back that they don't really have a probable shot of making it in tonight. So it should be a fun and exciting race. Good luck to you. And we'll see after tonight if you're going to be one of our final 4.
Gotcha. Thank you guys for having me in. I guess we'll see you after the race, hopefully.
Yep. And now we did get Oracle in the party. Oracle, could you connect your audio, please?
Hello.
Okay. All right. And you do have it checked off on the party. Good?
Yeah.
All right. So, Oracle, as we just had D-Dog in here, he's 7 points to the good. You're 1 point behind him, and you're 6 points to the good. So, and you right now, you're holding that 4th and final championship 4 spot, or final 4 spot. For you being right on that cut line, what kind of race are you going to try to have for yourself tonight? Are you going to be more defensive because you know you're 6 to the good, or with the points being so close, are you still just going to try and go all out and be more on the aggressive side of things?
Whatever I decide to choose. I mean, If I feel like I can compete, I'll compete. If I don't, I'll try to run it out and run my race and see how it goes. So all my goal is finishing ahead of the people I need to finish ahead of so I can make the playoffs. Next cut. That's all I'm doing. I want to give myself a chance to win the championship, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. This has been a trend for you these past 2 seasons to where during the regular season, you're kind of quiet. You're kind of quiet during the regular season. You maybe show up to maybe a podium once or twice throughout the regular season. And in the playoffs, you're a front runner. You're constantly in the top 3. You've been fairly consistent the first half of the playoffs. Last week at Sebring, I wasn't there and wasn't able to review a lot of the stuff going on, so wasn't sure how exactly you ran there. But here tonight,
Terrible.
it's the But here tonight, it's the final opportunity, and I'm sure, like you said, you're just trying to get yourself in one of those championship 4 positions. So, good luck to you tonight. Hopefully, you run yourself a good race.
Thank you. I will see you guys, hopefully.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Now, AK, we would try to get, actually, hold on, we would try to get Kart Racer, but I believe Kart Racer is holding a separate qualifying session at the moment, which is why he is not in the lobby. And I believe that's why he was inviting me, actually. Because I was getting invites from him. Let's go join his lobby real quick, because he's going to have his qualifying, but then I also believe he's going to have an LCQ, which we will see. Right now, they started the qualifying session. It's Deadpool and MVP, as we're in the other lobby at the moment. Alright. So now, AK, now that we've heard, at least from the 2 people who are right above that cut line, they're not necessarily out looking in, you heard from both of them. They kind of a general gist of they're going to run their race, and they are going to just try to get themselves locked in. Me and you, we used to be drivers, and if you found yourself in this position, with the point gap or point lead that you might have above that cutoff line, what's the approach that you would be taking for tonight?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in the position Oracle and D-Dog are, obviously I am above the cut line, but like we've said, it's not by very much. 1, 2, 3 positions could be the difference between for me making it and me not making it. So I don't think I'm being super aggressive, but I'm definitely being more aggressive than I would be on a regular race. And I'm being more defensive than I would be on a regular race. Making maybe a bump or 2 there, maybe, you know, getting somebody loose here, but I'm not driving through people to get the position because I absolutely need to. I might make a couple late blocks throughout the race, but I'm not going to make, you know, last second blocks. I'm going to be a little aggressive, but I'm not being super aggressive.
Yeah, pretty much finding yourself in positions of, hey, I'm good where I'm at right now, let me go on the defensive, or vice versa. I need to pass this driver in order to get myself into a position to say I'm in the Final 4. We've seen what IRL NASCAR drivers have done. An example that I look at the 2014 NASCAR season. The first season when the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series incorporated the playoff format of having that Final 4. Ryan Newman at Phoenix, he moved Kyle Larson out of the way because he needed to pass him in order to pass Jeff Gordon in the points and put himself in. And so we've seen that a tiny bit here at XRS. We've seen drivers move people out of the way in order to get themselves into that position. But you just never know. It has been stated tonight for all the drivers that, hey, have some respect for each other tonight. We know everybody's trying to get in, but let's just say it could be a fair warning to be given out, because we know the emotions can get high. There is very much reasoning, very much good reasoning to get high emotions about this, because it is a cash prize that people are going for. We haven't really talked about it much this season, but it's been real this entire season, that whoever wins the championship gets a $100 prize. And whoever comes in second gets $50, and then third gets $25. That fourth driver gets nothing. So, with the way that we have it right now, you can understand some drivers, the incentives that they have to be that passionate and be that, you can say, bring up those emotions about it. And like I said, AK, me and you, we have been in that position before in the past. Definitely emotions can get high, because even though we're not in real cars and we're not on a real track, it's all virtual, it's all simulation in a video game, but the racing can feel real. And it feels real to us, and we all share that same passion that we have for motorsport.
Yeah, I mean, we see drivers get hot. I mean, every season there's always two drivers that aren't happy with each other throughout the season, and they have a little bit of rivalry through the season. And it's always going to happen. It's always going to be something that happens, because obviously not only when you're racing and it's a very competitive league like ours is, but there's also money on the line. People are going to get hot about things. If something doesn't go the way of the driver, things are going to get hot. And like we seen 1 week ago with kart, people are going to make moves, especially on the last lap, in desperation to get points. We've seen kart move exif. I think it was exif last week. Last lap, last corner of last week's race, we seen kart move a guy to get 1 point. But that 1 point could be the difference between kart making it and kart not making it into these playoffs today.
Yep. Excuse me. I told you that I'm going to be coughing tonight, so please bear with me here. When we looked in that qualifying session that happened, we definitely looked like, if we look at the previous race results, we see MVP ran a 47.629, which that will put him in for sure the top 5, but I'm not sure where it would put him in the top 5, because I believe Vanquish ran a 47.5. So we'll have to see where that puts MVP. And then Deadpool ran a 48.8, so very much not on the faster side for Deadpool there. And we will see where it's going to put everybody, because we might have some people not attend the race. We might have some people leave, and that could open up spots. But when we had everybody in, we did have more than 22 attempt to make it. It's 24 maximum in the lobby, but with me and AK needing to be in that lobby, we take away two driver positions, and so that's why it's only 22 that can actually be in the race.
Yeah,
and so we'll see.
And especially at a track like Indianapolis, where these times are so close, like we go with that almost any oval track, these times are always going to be very, very close, because it's not like a road course where if you make a mistake, your lap's pretty much done. It's 4 corners and a straight. So at that point, it becomes basically a line game. So these times are always going to be very close to each other. Like you said, between first and 10th was only 0.5 seconds. It's not a very big gap. So we're always going to see it like this. But something that makes sort of Indianapolis different is it has the banking of a road course, which is basically no banking, but the shape of an oval. So it's kind of like a mix between the two, but more on the oval side of things. But it's a fairly tricky track in the way that the front straight is different from the back. The front straight is a much tighter straight than the backstreet because you have that pit road wall, and it sometimes deceives people, especially off these restarts. You think you can go 3 wide into turn 1, and all of a sudden everyone is wrecked. Because it's not... At the end of pit road, it's sort of bottlenecks at the end because the outside wall comes in just about a half a lane in, and the pit wall is about half a lane in as well. So you give away about 1 lane, and it's a very tight sort of entry into turn 1, especially with how flat it is.
Yeah, I believe the banking here in Indianapolis is only about, what, 8 degrees, 9 degrees? So, very, very, very non-banked corners, which produces awesome drafting and racing for the Indy cars, to where the IndyCar series has had so much success and so much history at this track. But for NASCAR at this track, well, recently in IRL NASCAR, they haven't been competing at this specific configuration. They've been competing on the Grand Prix circuit at Indianapolis, which XRS did go to that configuration earlier this year. But here, on the Speedway variant, on the Brickyard variant, there's just a lot of history, and so the racing, it can be a lot of fun, but for a lot of people, racing-wise, they might not like this track because of that turn 2 and turn 4 walls. Or actually, really, turn 4 and turn 1. You miss your apex.
You're not in for a fun time.
Yeah, if you miss your apex, the wall is going to bite you closer than you think. And that is what a lot of drivers might run into. We saw last time we were here in Indianapolis when MVP, Vanquish, even drivers like D-Dog, Kart Racer, they were all duking it out for the win here on the Oval. Yeah, we saw a couple of drivers slip up when they got caught up on that outside, or even single file just by drafting, because drafting, it changes this car. Drafting changes the car a lot in your handling, and it made it to where some people, they slipped up, they missed their apex, and the right side of their car didn't look too pretty at the end of the race, as it did before it started. So, there's going to be a lot of things that drivers need to be on the lookout for tonight, and that just makes it so much better to see all the drivers duking it out, hashing it out, and seeing who's going to be in.
Yeah, like you said with the turn 1 and 4, I mean, coming into turn 4, that wall comes up very quick and it can be very misleading. We'll probably see almost every driver hit turn 4 wall, outside wall, at least once today. I'd almost bet money on it because that wall comes up very fast. If you're drafting with another car, you don't realize how fast you're going, you're going to hit that wall. It may not hurt you too much. You may only lose a couple of hundredths of a second, but everyone's going to hit that wall. And like I said, there's sort of a bottleneck coming into turn 1, and that wall can come up very fast on that. And it's a fairly tight, very little banking. Coming off a very long straight with drafting, it can also be very misleading.
Alright, and it looks like the owners have decided that there will be an LCQ. And so let's hop into the LCQ lobby that will be hosted by Kart. We haven't had this in a while. Last chance qualifier for XRS. Vanquish, what are you doing here? Vanquish is very much not an LCQ driver. But with the way LCQ works is we have it to where the distance is set. Sometimes at ovals it's just double the qualifying laps. So if we run 4 laps qualifying, then we'll run 8 laps here on the oval. It's an actual race. There or anything like that. Yeah, so there'll be no cautions, or if they do, they'll just need to group it up real quick, and all the drivers, they'll get grouped up, they run, and it'll be 19th through 22nd that will be decided. So 4 drivers will be able to get in. And give me one moment. sorry for the delay. We are having some drivers who that are trying to get into the LCQ lobby. That is the delay that is happening at the moment. So, going back to how LCQ works, will be 8 laps. The damage will be set to cosmetic, so there's going to be no even fuel and tires. It's just going to be cosmetic. And that makes it to where if we do have a yellow, drivers, since they have no damage, they'll get slowed up immediately and they'll get back going to green. There will be a 2-lap cutoff, so when a leader approaches 2 laps to go, that cuts off cautions for the rest of the LCQ, and nothing more will be done. And whoever finishes, of course, LCQ is determined by the finishing order. And in the finishing order, it will determine who is 19th through 22nd. And AK, are you able to set your stuff to spectate? Like here in carts lobbies, are you able to set yourself to spectate?
No.
Okay. I thought it was just me. Well, that's interesting. Oh, he didn't load it in yet, that's why. There we go. Now we're actually, there we go. Now we're actually at the track. Now we're able to set ourselves for spectate. I am trying to figure out whether if there is someone else that needs to get into this lobby.
It would appear only 4, just reading messages.
If only 4 need to get in, then...
Actually, maybe MVP too?
Well, MVP, he already ran his qualifying session.
Oh, okay.
Because LCQ is only determined after. LCQ is determined after qualifying. Because we need to have all the lap times. Yeah, they're having difficulties right now, or they were having difficulties with Raze, because currently Raze is actually comms banned, and since he's currently comms banned, he's not able to get into a party with Kart Racer, so I'm assuming they either set up something with him on Discord, or they're just going to rely on him to be aware enough where he knows what's going on. Now everyone's loaded in to the LCQ. We have Ghost, Marvel, Raze, and Ruby. Four drivers that we haven't really heard about a lot this season.
Yeah, and a lot of these drivers actually came through sort of the middle of the season, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Ghost is Smokey, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Could be mistaken.
No, Smokey, he is under a different, like he's on his main.
Okay.
I know Smokey has an alt account by the name of Ghost or Ghosty, something like that. But no, this guy, Ghost 25124, this guy is someone different. Ray's Peasant, he's been around for a while. Marvel, he joined midway through the season. Ruby, I believe he just joined last week or earlier this week. So Ruby is the newest out of this group of four. And Ghost. Ghost, I'm not sure if he actually competed at Sebring last week.
Don't remember it, Ghost. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it.
Okay, because I know Ghost was in our Discord server fairly recently, so I can tell you for certain 3 out of these 4 guys are fairly new to XRS. Well, they're all fairly new, but the newest are everybody except Raze, because Raze has been here for a while. We'll see. Oh, Marvel got a huge jump over Ghost. And he did rescind that jump. I can assure you with these guys, not having damage on, they're going to use that bumper a little bit more often than not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll definitely be using that bumper a little more. There'll sort of be no drawbacks to not using it, so I can assure you they definitely will be using it. He's got a slow start, but he kind of catapulted through that second corner there and got 2 positions, 1 car in the wall.
That's Ghost. Yeah, Ghost got into the wall a little bit there. And so now that sets Ghost behind. Ruby makes his way up to 3rd. Ruby makes his way up to 3rd, Raised to 2nd, and Marvel, after needing to rescind a little bit of that restart, is able to pull ahead.
Yeah. Marvel didn't quite hit the apex there, so Raze did catch up a little bit. He'll set him up for what looks like the corner screen 4.
Yep, getting a run down the back. He won't jump inside. Yeah, Ghost really falling back further and further. Not really hitting his apexes as much as he could. Marvel got into the cones a little bit off of 4. He's in the wall.
Yeah,
Raze now has a run again. Gonna go to the outside. Let's see if he can get it done in 1.
Maybe protect from the inside and Raze just chose the outside, but it seems to have at least worked for him.
Right now, but here, Marvel sliding up the track into him. Raze powering by, and with these guys side by side, that might give a chance for Ruby to catch back up.
Yeah, you can see Ruby will get a pretty good draft down these straights because they're in both perfect spot where they're just in the draft. That draft will sort of build, especially on these straights. They should have a lot more speed than the other 2.
Whoa, Marvel gets into the cones, needs to jump out of the gas. Here comes the run from Ruby. Ruby's around to 2nd. Raze the leader.
Yeah, Raze has to jump out of it. He didn't quite hit his apex like he wanted to, so Ruby's going to be able to make another move there. Trying to get by Raze. Raze is going to power out on the outside again. Hold first for the time being.
And as you see on the map, Ghost, as these guys are entering turn 3, is just at the start-finish line, so already well more than a half lap behind. It's just a short time span, so Ghost will be probably eliminated in this LCQ.
Marvel had a big slide off turn number 4.
Oh yeah, we caught that at the last second. And now 3 to go in the LCQ. And it's UDP Ruby chasing down Raze Peasant. Ruby, yeah, that's a big hit in the wall there. He's not able to hold it down there to that apex. You want to be able to hold it down just for a little bit midway through the corner. Whoa, did Ray's get force walled?
Oh, we got fourth walls, or is that a lot?
He slowed up a lot. And that gives a shot for Ruby to catch back up. Oh, took too shallow of a line there, Ruby. Wow.
Yeah, they both took a very shallow line. Ray's had to get off the wall, and he just barely missed the wall. Unfortunately, Ruby did.
Gonna be 2 to go. Both of these drivers, both of them, they sort of held their apex as well that time. But it's still Ruby in the chaser position. And Ray is obviously not wanting to create too much of a hiccup.
Yeah. Oh, but he does it there.
Oh, but Ruby wide and 4.
horrible one.
Yeah, entered in way too high. Like we said, that turn 4 wall can bite you, and if you enter in way too high, you definitely need to get out the throttle. Final lap.
That wall, that turn sort of it sneaks up on you because you think you can turn, you think you've turned in perfectly, but then you're either high or you've turned in too early, and that wall will come up very fast on you if you're not careful.
Yep, and now we look at Ray's half a lap away from finishing first in this LCQ. Ghost, unfortunately, not having the run and really not having much success in his time at all. Looks like he's going to finish 1 lap down, and he will probably be either last or eliminated in qualifying here. And the last chance of being able to improve positioning, Ray's Peasant will win this LCQ at Indianapolis. Ruby finishing second and Marvel finishing third. There is a 3-second gap between those first 3 cars. Ruby, he had a shot with the drafting that he was able to get, but unfortunately not able to really hit his apex, hit his marks.
Yeah, once he went high on that last corner, that was pretty much all she wrote on where he was going to finish on that one. So, I mean, obviously not quite what he wanted in the LCQ, but I mean, he should obviously still advance, but he just won't have a great starting position.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. That about racks up LCQ. And so now I'm going to try and get the whole lobby grouped up once more. This time with, I believe, Culture still holding his lobby. So let's join him. So 81 laps to be ran tonight. And it should be fairly interesting to see what exactly are going to be the pit strategies that we're going to see tonight. So, AK, how many strategies do you predict for tonight?
I think we'll see about 3 or 4 as usual. Obviously, we already know what one of those I think are going to be, but obviously, I think we'll see, because like we've said, there's a couple teams that have a shot at being in the playoffs, so you'll see teams stick together. Obviously, Shift Motorsports is one of those teams that I expect to stay together because they have a couple drivers in playoffs right now, so obviously you'll want as many drafting partners as you can, especially on a track like this. So you'll see a lot of cars sort of coming together in sort of segments. So I think by the end of it, we'll see about 4 different strategies, and I think we'll see somebody run the Vegas strat.
You and your Vegas strats.
Yep. I mean, somebody always runs it. At least one person always runs it unless it gets ruined last second. So, I mean, it's safe to say somebody's going to use it. Or at least attempt to use it.
Oh, and here, just to say ahead of time, we apologize for not being able to have a Wheel-to-Wheel podcast episode this week. Really, we were not able to get together. Me and AK, we had different schedules this week, and weren't really able to get an episode together. So hopefully next week we'll be able to. Or
Yeah,
this next upcoming week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
some other exciting news that could come out of tonight is after this race, after we hold our post-race interviews, I will be announcing the new season of XRS. AK, I know you already have a preview, so hush hush until the end of this race. So at the end of this race, at the end of this broadcast, that is when the new series will be announced, and it's labeled Season 1, as we posted in the teaser on the XRS Instagram page. Speaking of, if you're not following the XRS Instagram, what are you doing? Go follow it. Go follow the XRS Instagram page. That's where we post a lot of our news and updates. We're falling a little behind this week, mainly because me being the manager of that page, I took ill this week and was not able to really find the time to upload a lot. So, as you can see, I'm still trying to not cough at every opportunity that I get for right now. But after today, we will have the Instagram updated more. Continue to follow us and watch us here on Twitch, and more to come. For the Twitch page, because now we are eligible for affiliate status, Twitch affiliate status. So we'll for sure be looking into that, and more to come for the XRS media side of things. Also, for all of the full race replays that are broadcasted on our Twitch page, and uploads of the Wheel-to-Wheel podcast. Obviously, the Wheel-to-Wheel podcasts are just live recordings on Twitch, but we still export them to the YouTube channel. So, and then if you are not into these long videos, or don't even want to see a lot of news posts, so you don't want to see a lot of the top 10 posts, or maybe the winner posts and stuff like that, well, then we still have a page for you. It's called our TikTok page. The XRS TikTok page. We just post a bunch of shorts, edits, and mainly it's just racing that's posted on there. Not really much of stats or anything like that are posted on the TikTok page. There is the grid order for you guys. Vanquish and Off-Road Hype qualifying in second position. Look at him. He is coming into this race 9th in the playoffs, so he pretty much is mathematically... Well, I don't believe he's mathematically out with Reno not being here. But he's for sure
A long shot.
a long shot, to say the least.
The stars would have to align for him to be.
And MVP, it looks like it did get him up to 3rd, his qualifying time that he ran. I knew for sure he was going to be in the top 5. Wasn't quite sure where exactly he was going to be. So that's going to sit him in 3rd. That'll sit Kart Racer to 4th. Now we'll put D-Dog in 5th. Yes, D-Dog 5th. RZX Cam in 6th. There you see on the outside lane further back. A few rows. So... Oh, by the way... By the way, you see a lot of the guys go below the apron here. They're just dirtering their first lap. So then the pace lap is not their fastest lap of the race. Little driver.
Interesting move here by Vanquish. He goes in the outside lane for the start of this race.
Might try to get the run and push through turn 1.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we've seen it work with Ray's. He ran the outside in the LCQ, so maybe he might try it here. But not something we usually see is the leader take the outside lane. Usually they take the inside lane.
Yeah, but we'll see. As the cars are through that flat turn 4 with that outside wall right there, probably going to hook a lot of drivers attempting to push their hardest and make their way through and fight for a championship at Miami. Green flag waves, 4 drivers, 3 spots up for grabs. Who's gonna get it? We're racing at Indianapolis.
Cars are already starting to separate into 2 packs pretty much right off that start. Pretty much 14th on back. Wreck already. Turn number 4. 2 cars into the wall outside. Deadpool and Sonic. Both very damaged.
Already. Really, Deadpool not able to get moving at all. Very slow. See Marvel a little slow.
We're already seeing people hitting those walls. B-Dog already hit that wall. We're 3 wide. For 8 there, we were just 3 wide for a couple of seconds.
And whoa! That was close between Off-Road Hype and Kart Racer coming to the caution flag. And Off-Road Hype did beat Kart to that spot. Off-Road loses 1 position off the restart. That's going to set him to 3rd. Now MVP Vanquish. They'll be the front row. So first caution of the day coming in on the first lap.
Yeah, my guess is potentially just false start because obviously we have that interval. We weren't very far into the first corner. We barely made it into the first corner, so that's my reason this caution's coming out. At least I would assume.
Well, a false restart can only be called, I believe it's if the leader doesn't make it to the start-finish line. It's either that or the whole pack. Let me double check real quick. Oh, false restarts are called if people wreck, practically you wreck in the restart zone. Which the restart zone is always some point in the track leading up to the start checkered finish line, as we see a lot of cars already making early pit stops. And I'm sure this is actually because of strategy. There are a lot of cars going in that early. If it's a couple cars going in early, then it might be an early fluke. Them trying to get into a little bit of a different position. Oh wow, Tomato and Oracle are running different paint schemes this week.
I guess first do happen.
Yeah, Tomato just being the car directly behind Off-Road here. Second car in the inside row. Running looks like a Farmer's Insurance paint scheme. Kind of reminds me of Casey Kane's Farmers Insurance Chevrolet that he ran for Hendrick Motorsports. Of course, him being in the 5 car. And Oracle, I believe he's also in a Casey Kane inspired paint scheme, but the Quicken Loans car.
Well, we've already made it to a 16-point difference between the cutoffs just in the first lap, so things are already shaking up before we've even gotten through halfway.
And that's going to shake up even more. Restart number 2 here on lap 4. Vanquish and Off-Road leading field to green this time. Yeah, Off-Road. He tucked in line behind Vanquish before they crossed the start line. I don't believe you're allowed to change lanes until you have crossed the line.
Hart is making some fairly aggressive moves. He's pushed it 3 wide a couple of times, and he just put a very, very quick block on Cam.
Yeah, Cart, he's one of those guys that came down to pit road. He's trying to get himself in a better position. There's smoke up ahead, turn 4. Car's able to save it, keep it out of the wall. Now Cart finds himself on the outside of Rocket.
Car did spin. It was smoky in the back. I don't think he has any damage, so he kept it on the wall.
Whoa, Rocket! Got around, and oh, car around in the short chute, turns 1 and 2.
I think that's subsonic. Nope. Panda. That's a playoff driver.
Yeah, Panda
Heavily
spins in the
damaged,
short
too.
chute. Spins in the short chute of 1 and 2.
Very heavily damaged. Not what he wants, especially because he's just in turn number 2. He has a long way to go before he gets into the pit.
Meanwhile, Kart Racer getting a run on Culture for the 9th position. Gonna tuck in line, not gonna dive to the inside here in 1. Kart ran a little wide there. The Panda will be very slow. He's still that other dot on the backstretch, if you see on the track map.
Panda's going to be the first car lap down. Obviously not what he was looking forward into and for the start of his race.
Oh, Kart grabbing the wall a little bit in turn 3.
Yeah, currently a guy that I expect to see fairly aggressive throughout the night is Kart. Obviously, like we said, he's the first driver 6 points out at the start of this race. Obviously, that's already changed since the beginning of it. At that restart, it was 16 points out. As Oracle had cracked the top 5, so he was getting a little bit of extra points. But obviously, he's somebody who needs to get positions off of. You see, currently Oracle is in 4th. D-Dog is behind him, but only by 1 position. So those are the 2 guys that we're really looking at that Kart could knock out, if it's going to be anyone.
Yep. Vanquish pulling away with a race lead. Off-Road still tucking in for 2nd. And now he has Tomato drafting with him. They're both about just over a second to a second and a half behind the leaders.
I got really behind and almost took a torsion from Culture, D-Dog, and Kart. That was almost very bad.
Kart avoids it, and he's now up to 7th.
Yeah, Kart gained a lot of positions off of that. He gained about 3 positions through that. But almost a very bad incident for some of the playoff drivers.
Whoa, who's that on the backstretch? Yeah, and parked, that's Smokey. He's parked all the way on the grass by the wall. So I believe he actually needs to be AFK at the moment. And Goosey, he's parked too. Not sure where these guys need to be going at the moment.
Oracle MVP were battling for a position. That was fourth position they were battling for along with Alpha Jaden, but MVP got away a little bit.
Yep, just ever so slightly he gets away. And now Alpha Jaden and Panda near each other. That's not for position. Panda is 2 laps down.
Yeah, Panda definitely did not get the start to this race that he was looking for. Obviously, he needed a very good placement here and a couple of things to go wrong with some of the top 4 drivers to be able to have a chance to get into the playoffs. So to be already 2 laps down, just 10 laps into this, obviously is not something he wants this early on.
Run all the way back here to D-Dog in the 12th position, trying to hold off Ray's Peasant and Culture, who are behind him, while also pursuing RZX Cam and Rocket. Cam, I believe he got into the wall in the short chute. And now a huge run from D-Dog to the inside of Rocket on the front stretch.
Almost a huge incident in front of them involving Cam. Cam had all 4 wheels off the ground after hitting the wall.
Wow.
That was almost a very big one for Cam and potentially even D-Dog. I don't know how Cam was able to gather it up, but he
3 wide behind D-Dog. Culture to the bottom, Rocket in the middle. Culture's going to back out of it in turn 3. Rocket going to try and clear Ray's his K2 Chevrolet. Ray's gets the run on the outside and the wall a little bit.
Yeah, that wall sneaks up on you and Ray's just down to out.
Yeah. But it works for him now. RZX Cam into the picture here.
I'm actually shocked that Cam doesn't have damage after that impact to the wall, because it was a very big one. Obviously enough to take, 2 tons of a car off the ground.
Rocket and Cam side by side battling for the 13th position. Rocket also trying to make up ground on Culture. Oh, into the wall.
Culture there for a split second.
Yep, and now Ray's falling behind. Cam and Rocket still fighting closely as they're still trying to pursue Culture in the 11th position currently.
Yeah, the field is fairly spread out for the time being. Currently, MVP is being challenged by Tomato for that 3rd position, but nothing really happening too much more. Protas held 2nd throughout this race so far. But besides that one little cluster, there's not that many people that are actually together. As there's been a wreck, and it looks like D-Dog's involved.
Oh, yeah.
3 and 4, Rocket and D-Dog. It looks like D-Dog.
Rocket, D-Dog.
This is a playoff driver that was on that cut line that we said it needed to have a good day. That will probably, I would imagine, bring out the caution.
And some cars were making their pit stops. At the same time, we saw some drivers like Smokey Eunuch and FM, or not Smokey, FM for sure, was in pit road. Not sure who else was in pit road with him. Yeah, but yeah, the caution's out. Vanquishy's slowed down. lap cars just making their way around. Now the lead lap cars will be on the inside lane here.
Yeah, so with that puts D-Dog on the outside looking in, and that puts Cart inside now. Not by much, just by 6 points. But now G-Dog needing at least 6 positions from his current position just to have it just be on that cut line.
Vanquish on the access road here. Not sure if that's indicating he wants to go down pit road. And he does go, and he's in.
After all this puts Oracle will move up to 3rd in the standings. This will put Cart at 4th in the standings at +6 in the cutoff, and D-Dog down at -6 at the cutoff.
And AK, of course, keeping track of the points total for tonight. And I'm sure, I hope you have a calculator next to you to be able to
Screenshots, calculator, we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 55 math mark won't get me through this one.
Now after that, that's going to put Alpha Jaden to the lead, Kart Racer to 2nd, Taurus IG to 3rd, Deadpool to 4th. And I believe those were the only 4 that actually stayed out, so that might put Vanquish to 5th. And it does. Excuse me. Now, Alpha Jaden here electing the outside lane here for the restart. Oh, there goes Goosey trying to make another lap. Not sure what the point in that was, if the cars were going back to green. Alpha Jaden, Kart Racer, filing in 1-2. Vanquish already trying to make work.
Yeah, this is where a lot of positions will be gained and lost here. If you can have a good start, you'll
Taurus in the wall.
Start, then you'll lose some positions.
Whoa, Vanquish with a big run. Alpha with a big block down the backstretch.
Taurus sideways down the backstretch. Didn't quite catch it, but he is definitely sideways.
Fight for the lead close right now. Vanquish and MVP, 3 wide for the race lead. Now, Alpha falls in line to 3rd. MVP and Vanquish still side by side for that lead position. Still fighting through. Looks like MVP might be able to clear, and he does. He clears on the edge of the turn 2. Now Vanquish in the chaser.
Vanquish doesn't really have to fight for positions. He is locked in the first spot on points, so he didn't even have to show up to tonight's race, and he would have been fine. But MVP isn't quite locked in, but he does have a very good point margin, where it would take a fair bit for him not to be in. So obviously these two don't really need it, but somebody who does is Cart, who's in 3rd place. He is out. He was inside in the cut line on the last restart. He's still in on the point, but obviously he still needs to make sure he keeps in on those points. Made it to the final 4.
Car Racer running a good line here. He's making up some ground on Vanquish for 2nd.
Currently, D-Dog's the one on the outside looking in. He's 13th, so he's looking to gain obviously a lot of positions, but just not a lot of cars around to gain those positions who are 4 positions.
Now I see the chat from Reno. Reno says he got a concussion. So he got a concussion, and that's why he needs to sit out for tonight's race. Well, Reno, you ran yourself a good season. You started strong, winning the XRS 500. Fortunately, not able to be here to see if you could get yourself into a championship 4 position, but hopefully you can recover and can show up next week. And thank you for that. And he also said, "Bless you, fan," after my sneeze, so thank you.
Right now, top 3 are all playoff drivers. 2 of which are pretty much in the top final 4 for almost certainty. Take a lot for MVP to be knocked out, and Vanquish is already locked in. Only one driver actually really needs these points, and that's Cart, who's in 3rd. Hanging with these guys very well. We may have a shot at passing some of these guys to get a couple extra points.
Now they are approaching lap traffic ahead, and it looks like it's Smokey who finally got out of his parked position, just going to get out of the way.
Yeah, him and Ruby had an incident
Whoa!
on the restart lap.
That's
Ruby
going to
hit
set
the wall
Cart
and
behind.
Smokey hit Ruby.
Well, that's going to set Cart behind. He did get into the wall. Now Vanquish right on the back bumper of MVP.
Yeah, Vanquish getting the draft and applying pressure all at the exact same time.
Oh, he went for it
Vanquish
there. He
in
needs to get
look.
out of it.
He took a look with the door closed.
Now they'll put Kart Racer back into Vanquish's draft.
Kart doesn't need to win this race. If he stays how he is right now to the end of the race, he's more than good. But obviously, he would like to win because it's almost certified that he is going to make it to the final 4. MVP very loose off turn number 4.
And he's going to lose 2 positions, going back to 3rd.
It looks like the back end just stepped out on him coming out of turn number 4. And he luckily saved it. A very good save, as he was pretty much almost dead straight to the wall. But he did also lose the position, so it definitely could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Now, Kart Racer in the draft of Vanquish, going to try and apply some pressure here through 3 and 4.
Vanquish is a driver that we have not seen make many mistakes all season. He's pretty much had a perfect season throughout it. Obviously, he made a couple mistakes that he's involved in a couple of wrecks, but not nearly as much as anyone else. So he's not, I don't know how he'll do to pressure. He's had MVP pressure before, but that's pretty much it. But now he has multiple cars that are able to pressure him in this race, so maybe it could affect Vanquish more than what we usually see.
Now, Vanquish and these guys are approaching Goosey, the lap car. And we'll see if Goosey will just get out of the way. Goosey passed all the cars coming to the restart, trying to make up a lap. And all this going on between the top 3, that has potentially brought Alpha Jaden within striking distance here. There is no lap traffic cars in between MVP in 3rd and Alpha Jaden in 4th. So with these guys trying to battle with each other and trying to get around the lap traffic here, that could bring Alpha Jaden closer.
Yeah, and just behind them, there's a pack that's slowly forming as off-roads into the outside wall off the bumper of Cam. Got hooked into turn number 2. I don't know if he has damage, though. Luckily, no damage for at least off-road, or I don't know about Cam yet, but we'll have to check him as well. But they were in a pack, and they were having some very tight racing between the two of them. All 4 of them. And unfortunately, off-road just got caught on Cam's bumper, and that's obviously went out into the outside wall, and that's luckily no damage, but obviously not quite what they wanted.
Off-road after the restart, he got shuffled back to the 6th position. Now with all the battling, beating and banging going on, yeah, he got shuffled back to 7th, but we know he's quick. He was able to hold 2nd position for a majority of the very beginning of this race, so sure he's wanting to make himself up and get there.
You know, somebody who likes all this battling and banging and everything is D-Dog. He's silently worked his way back up to 8th from about 18th on the restart, so a gain of 10 positions off the restart thus far. So he's quietly making his way through the field off others' mistakes and just off pure speed himself.
Yeah, still in the 8th position. He has multiple drivers behind him. Panda, Cam, Rocket, all trying to beat and bang and fight just for inside the top 10 there. Meanwhile, another driver that we're looking out for tonight is Oracle. Oracle is currently sitting in the 4th position, which should set himself good up points-wise. Unless D-Dog and Cart are able to make their way to 1st and 2nd, 4th might not be enough.
Yeah, right now I believe he is on that cut line because Cart obviously being in that sort of 2nd position, 3rd position, is gaining a couple more points than is gaining a lot more points than what Oracle is currently. So I think he is in that 3rd position, but it's not by much between those three drivers being D-Dog, Oracle, and of course Cart.
Meanwhile, they're trying to deal with a lap traffic car of Marvel. Oracle is through, but Culture, he's trying to get around Marvel. Off-road has caught them. Off-road's going to try and go through the middle. And I believe he does get it through. Now he's pushing hard in 1, pushing the lap car high. Nearly getting Tomato into the wall, but Off-roads, so far, fighting himself strong. He's trying to get a lot of positions out of this. He could get up to 5th here and hold it.
Yeah, and obviously that's exactly what he wants, is he wants to get up to that 5th position. Obviously, he's not... It would take almost a miracle for Off-road to get in right now, but I mean, if he puts himself in the right spot, he might just be able to get that miracle to happen.
Right now, Off-road kind of using Marvel as a pick, since Marvel has been running that outside lane, and that's where Tomato's been. And now, enough of a gap has formed to where Tomato tucks in line behind Off-road. Now Off-road to 4th. D-Dog, he's made his way up here. He's now in 6th.
Yeah, Card has come down to pit. So, fall back to 15th on that pit.
And falling back all the way to 15th, maybe 16th, depending on where Alpha falls in line, but it looks like it will be 15th.
Also with that moves Oracle up into 3rd. Oracle obviously is needing a fairly strong run here. He needs to stay at least ahead of D-Dog and Cart, and he needs to stay ahead of Cart for at least 6 points. at the bare minimum to stay in this about the same point standings he is in right now. Obviously, he was at the beginning of this race 1 point behind D-Dog, so currently is ahead of D-Dog by a little bit. And obviously, kart pitting, that means Oracle will have taken that third position in the playoffs.
So now, Vanquish and MVP has found themselves quite a bit of gap over the other drivers. Really, the top three drivers. As there is Oracle in third is 8 seconds behind Vanquish, while MVP is only about a second and a half right now, fluctuating to Vanquish at the moment. Oracle in third off-road is now on the same straightaway, trying to catch him. It looks like the caution has now come out.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for what that caution came out for. I don't see any cars super slow on the track. I'm thinking maybe FM. I did see FM go into the pits. So maybe him, but I can't say for sure. If nobody else comes into pit, then I'm going to go out on a limb and say FM might have wrecked just in front of the pits and got some damage.
Potentially. A lot of the drivers on the access road here. Not sure if it means that they're actually going to head to pit road. Because we don't have a commitment line. We don't have an actual commitment line that you need to commit to.
Besides, obviously, the wall.
Yeah, the wall. You don't want to hit the wall. That's your commitment line. If you hit the wall.
Yeah, if you hit the wall, you're probably going to pit now because you have damage. So.
And so now I believe I'll put Coulter to the lead because he'll be the first car that stayed out.
Yeah. So with that, I believe that would put D-Dog on the outside looking in now.
That's because that's going to move Kart Racer up to second. He has already made his pit stop along with Alpha Jaden.
Yeah. That will then put now D-Dog on the outside looking in by... Position here. Yeah, they'll put D-Dog on the outside looking in by 4 points. And the Oracle will, I think, should... Oracle would be in third, and I think Hart would be that last car that's on the outside looking in by... Sorry, inside looking out by 4.
So now the two owners will make up the front row for this restart. And once again, Coulter electing the outside lane. Green flag back out.
A lot more organized this time off that restart.
As we look back to the back, battle for the 7th position here, off-road to the inside of Tomato. Meanwhile, up ahead, we have MVP to the inside of Alpha. For the 3rd position, Oracle, he looked like he was about to go 3 wide, backed out of it.
Yeah, and like I said, Oracle's somebody who will probably be a little aggressive, but not aggressive enough where he needs to push it 3 wide. He can keep it, he can sort of keep position, but he doesn't need to push it 3 wide and potentially risk it as we're almost halfway through this race.
Yep, 81 laps, or 80 race laps, so really in a handful of laps here once we approach the lap 40-41 mark, that will be marking the halfway point. And off-road, taking advantage of a slip-up from Oracle. But with Tomato being behind off-road, Tomato's going to go with Oracle, give him that little boost on the outside lane. But how long the front and back straightaways are at Indy, that draft, you can get a small aero push if you're close enough to that driver. So draft, very much a factor.
D-Dog was making up a couple positions with the help of Cam.
Ultra now
And just about wrecked with Rays off turn 4. They collected up and just barely missed the wall. The Panda almost involved in a 2nd wreck here today.
Oh, another slip up from Oracle here, not looking good. Now Tomato passes Oracle for the 5th position. And so if off-road is able to get another run and Oracle makes another slip up, that's going to make it to where Oracle's not going to have that defense from behind. Small slip up there. Here comes the run from off-road. He dives to the bottom. Not sure if he's able to hold that run, and he does tuck back in line.
Currently, Hart is our leader, but he has Vanquish and MVP just right behind him, just biding their time, letting him run up the laps, and they'll look for an opening probably in the next couple of laps.
Yep, no need to really fight for too much in positioning here, especially amongst these 3. Vanquish locked in. Kart Racer, he's leading, so he feels pretty confident.
Yeah, currently under those 3, I'd say Kart probably has the most to lose.
And that MVP, he got into that turn 4 wall. Now that leaves Vanquish right on the bumper and not needing to deal with MVP behind, so he can focus everything in front.
Currently, the margin between being in the playoffs and out of the playoffs, or in the top 4 and out of the top 4, is just 2 points. Oracle and D-Dog. D-Dog's on the outside looking in by 2 points.
By 2 points, and where D-Dog is currently standing, he's in 9th, so he would need to get himself up to 7th in order to tie those 2 points, and then to gain that 3rd point to put him 1 point ahead, he would need to get up to the 6th spot, because it is from 5th on back where there's now a 1 point separation amongst every position. But from 4th to 5th, there is a 2 point separation. From 3rd to 4th, there's a 3 point separation. From 2nd to 3rd, there is a 4 point separation. And then from 1st to 5th, that's the big one, 5 point separation. So even bigger if you combine a bunch of the positions together. 1st and 3rd, like where Kart Racer is right now and where MVP is right now, that's a 9 point gap.
Yeah, D-Dog just made up 1 spot, so now the difference is just 1 point between being in and being out.
And of course, that all depends if Oracle is able to stay in 6th or if he is able to get up to 5th and beyond, because that makes the point gap a lot bigger.
Yeah, if he can get past that 5th position, obviously he'll start getting a lot more points than just one at a time. So, obviously D-Dog hopes Oracle will stay in that 6th to 5th position because he'll only gain 1 point between if he moves up to that 5th spot. But if he moves anywhere past that 5th spot, it'll be a lot more points.
Yep, so D-Dog really looking to be on approach here. He's trying to catch Off-Road Hype for 7th. But he should know, off-road, he's been a fast driver today. He's been a fast car today, so might not be the easiest to get around him once he gets to him.
Yeah, and that's something that I've pointed out throughout the season is when off-road's good, he has a very, very good car, and he's usually very good with it. And I think today's one of those days where he's just very good. He's figured out this track to a T. He's figured out what he needs to do, what he needs to avoid, and he's running very well today. It does seem like D-Dog is gaining, though.
He's gaining slightly.
Slightly. Pretty sure if D-Dog can pass off-road here, I believe that would put Oracle on the outside. Even though they are tied, I'm pretty sure it would still put Oracle on the outside because he was 4th coming in and D-Dog was 3rd coming in.
Well, D-Dog, he would need to get himself to the 7th spot to be tied right now.
Yeah.
So, right there, D-Dog, he sees Oracle ahead of off-road, and he knows if he should know, if he gets around off-road, that makes him and Oracle tied for the spot. Now, speaking of ties, if we do end up getting a tie tonight, whether it be for the 4th position, or really just for that 4th position, if we do end up getting a tie tonight, what takes priority? What do we look at on the XRS side of things to determine what breaks that tie? Well, we could go to wins, which that's actually the first thing that we do go to. We do go to wins. But I don't believe neither D-Dog or Oracle have scored a win this season. And so the next factor that we look at is playoff points, and then the next factor after playoff points is average finishing position. So those are the things that we look at in order to determine a tiebreaker. A slip up here from 4th through 7th, that's going to bring D-Dog right on the outside of off-road. But now Oracle could make up some spots here as well.
Rocket just went through there like a rocket and gained about 4, maybe 5 spots.
Oh, Oracle in the wall. And now D-Dog's the wall.
In the wall again. Looks like Oracle may have to pit from that, or he might just be pitting. Obviously, he did stay out. Sorry, he didn't stay out, so I'm going to actually assume he is pitting for damage potentially then.
Oracle, after getting off the wall, came back down. And looks like the caution is out. It might be for that incident then with Oracle. He was up against that outside. There's a cluster of cars there. And when Oracle came back down, D-Dog was there. Not quite sure if it was D-Dog who more came up, because D-Dog knows that that's a car that he's fighting with. We would hate to assume that, especially if we have it on stream here. So, if need be, if Oracle reports that, we will have a little bit of evidence on stream.
Yeah, so now
Exactly
Oracle
what
is
happens.
Oracle is 9 points out now after that, if he does line up where he is currently. Which is, I believe, 16th. So he would be 9 points on the outside looking in now as Oracle. I don't know if he has to give up more positions or not. Because caution was called, but he also came in immediately. So
Looks like no takers to pit road this time around.
we had 4 come in. 12th to, I believe, 15th. Yeah, 12th to 15th.
Oh, then my mistake.
With that, it's now 5 points on the outside looking in for Oracle.
Now, AK here, I might need to take a quick break. So, would you like to take over here?
Yep, sure, we can do that.
Alright, so now AK will take over here at the broadcast while I am away for a little bit. So, right now, just to let you know, AK, we will just keep an eye on D-Dog here on the replay cams. And we'll keep the track map on for any viewers since I won't be here, so then you can see the action going on the map. And, oh, AK, it's yours until I get back.
Obviously, right now, currently, like we've said, Oracle is on the outside looking in by just 5 points. So it's not a very big margin right now between being in and being out, but cars obviously are going to round turn number 4, and it will be Vanquish who will lead us to that green flag for the 3rd time tonight. But obviously, we will stick with D-Dog on this restart, currently sitting in that 8th position. As always, that pit wall is the green flag, is where you can go at the green flag. Green flag back out for the 3rd time tonight. First couple of rows had about the same start. Vanquish is going to jump down up to the outside, then back into the inside. D-Dog just sort of sitting. He hasn't made or gained much position, but he hasn't lost much either. 3 wide just up ahead of him. Rocking him to the outside and came on the inside. Rocket's going to look to make up 2 spots, and he does. He'll move up to that 6th position. Just behind, Panda silently made his way up after that early wreck in the beginning of this race. He's made his way up to 11th place, battling for 10th right now with Sly. To the inside of Tomato to get that 8th spot. We'll see if he can make it. Maybe not quite. Tomato will hold him off for the time being. Sly's now going to challenge him from behind. Putting just a little bit of pressure in that draft, but he's not fully there yet. Car on the inside. That's Ray's. Looks like he may have damage. He might have been involved in a wreck, and he may have to go to the pits. But obviously, there is the pit interval, so no caution will come out for that. Another car goes into pit. That was Alpha Jaden. And D-Dog, first car on the in. Currently up by just 5 points. Is what is the difference from making the final 4 and not making the final 4. Still those 5 points. Currently Oracle sits in 12th. Obviously D-Dog came in 1 point ahead of Oracle. So that's just the 5 points that Oracle needs. The field's starting to spread out. Starting to see everyone just get single file and start ticking down these laps. Ray's trying to avoid the cars on his outside. He does not want to cause a Kevin LePage. Cam now blocking Tomato. Tomato looked on the inside of Cam for that 6th position. Couldn't quite get it. Cam was blocking. Both these drivers aren't really playoff drivers, but obviously they want to have a good showing here. Still to maybe try and show that they too can fight for a championship maybe next season. Again, that season is being revealed. The season is being revealed at the end of this race. Reno now does have to run. He's going to look inside, but then he hits the wall, so he'll lose his momentum. With these two battling, D-Dog slowly catching up to 7th place, Tomato. Oh, but then D-Dog hits the wall just a little bit. D-Dog with a fairly good run. He's going to make a look. He might try and challenge Tomato coming into turn number 1. Like I said, it's a little bit of a bottleneck. See it come up here. Again, D-Dog just trying to get that 7th position. Any gaps he can make to Oracle, the better, as Oracle has reached 9th place. So it's now gone back to a 1-point gap. And I don't know if Cam missed pit road or what happened, but he might have gotten loose. But Cam has slowed down a lot and dove to the bottom of the racetrack. Now Cam's back in the picture at 6th. But now the difference between being in and being out of the playoffs is just 1 point, as Oracle has reached 9th place. Currently D-Dog is 8th place. So Oracle on the outside looking in by just 1 point. And D-Dog being in the final 4 by just 1 point. So obviously now more urgency for D-Dog to make a move, and I do believe it was Cam who missed a pit, as he'll come into pit this time by, as a lot of drivers do. I believe MVP went in and Vanquish. So Cart now leads the race. D-Dog will move up to 5th, and Oracle will move up to 6th. Currently D-Dog with 30% fuel. Oracle, on the other hand, obviously was damaged and came into pit. So he has double what D-Dog has at 67% on fuel. Putting even more pressure and urgency on D-Dog. D-Dog will now make up positions up to 2nd. Off-road now leads the race as Cart will fall back. So now Cart obviously is on the outside looking in. So now that puts Oracle and D-Dog both in. Oracle did pit as well, so Oracle will go to 5th. So now D-Dog is safe, at least for the time being. D-Dog has moved up to 2nd place. Only one car ahead of him, that being off-road.
D-Dog will now come into pit as well. So first and second off-road D-Dog both come into pit. So now they'll start losing positions. See if their pit strategy helps them or not.
But is it the Vegas strap? No, okay.
Not quite, because they've pit. I don't quite know how long you can go on fuel on this track with these cars, so we'll find out.
Well, this is approaching the final pit window here.
What I can say, though, is we definitely do have 3 different strategies.
Sorry. Oh, FM, DNF?
I don't know when that happened.
Oh.
Well, honestly, that could have happened before or after, because I don't think I got a loading screen on my part.
Oh. So, FM Esports, he DNFs. So, now that puts it to where there is 21 different positions available actually on track.
It looked like D-Dog and off-road strategy may have worked out for him, at least for a little bit. It is Oracle again on the outside looking in.
Well, it has shuffled them back to 9th and 11th, and currently 17 cars are on the lead lap, so for a lot of those chase drivers, it's 17 positions that can be gained or lost if you are the leader. Very interesting top 5 that we have at the moment. Panda, the leader. Culture, second. Marvel in third. UDP Ruby in fourth. And Tauros IG in fifth.
Yeah, I believe Tauros, Panda, Ruby, and Marvel all have not pit yet. I don't know about Colt. I think he might have pit, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Which Panda is actually going to have to come in here soon because he has only 9% fuel left, so he will be pitting fairly soon here. Actually, all 5 of these guys have not pit. Culture's on 20%. Marvel is on 52. So he, I think he was part of the caution just a bit ago, as actually Ruby has had damage at some point. I don't believe it will bring out a caution.
So now, Vanquish, after those guys go to pit road, I believe that'll shuffle Vanquish to the lead, if he hasn't made his pit stop already.
Panda just squeezed Culture on the front stretch. And Panda is getting scary low at 5% fuel.
For sure he's going to need to pit with probably this time by, because I don't believe he'll have enough to make it another full lap. If he does try to go around, he'll be probably around half lap short of making his way to pit road.
As he enters turn 3, he's at 3%, so he will definitely have to pit this time. And if he does not, he will run out of fuel.
Yep.
He does.
Now that puts Culture to first. But
Yeah,
you
Culture will
said
have to
he
pit
needs to
here.
pit.
Yeah, he'll have to pit here and then probably a lap or 2. He's at 12% right now. So it wouldn't shock me if he comes in this lap, but it also wouldn't shock me if he comes in next lap.
Or he might try to stretch it out. At the pace that he's going at, he might be able to stretch it to 2. For sure, he's either going to pit within the next 2-3 laps, or he might come down this time. We'll see. He does not.
We'll go around one. We'll go around again.
And now that's going to put him at around 9 9% at the line. So, for sure, he can only make it around one more full lap, or else he's going to be in Panda's position, where he cannot make it another full lap.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're watching this, so I'm sure they'll come in this time. But if not, it could be very bad for him if he doesn't.
Oh. Forza logo.
Please. Didn't see anyone, but I could have just been too quick.
We'll see as the ticker cycles through. Usually the Forza logo means somebody has disconnected from the lobby.
And Culture's gonna try and go around once more. It was
Toros. Somebody who can go quite a handful of laps here is actually Marvel. He's sitting at 36% on fuel currently.
Yeah, I think he might have hit a couple of laps before the last caution, so he might. He's probably. I think he's our third strategy right now. That gonna give us. He's gonna try and wing it on that.
Also,
Just barely gonna be able to make it if he
2%.
fuel, and he is.
Goes into pit road on 2%.
Passing comes by.
It'll actually be Marvel who passes him by first. There's Marvel. He's sitting in second. Oh, he might go to pit road this time, and he does. So he had plenty of fuel to go a little bit further, but he decides to make his pit stop now. Now that reshuffles Vanquish to the lead. It'll be MVP to second, Kart Racer to third, Off-Road Hap to fourth. I'll put Alpha Jaden to fifth, D-Dog to sixth, Tomato to seventh, Rocket to eighth, RZX Cam to ninth, Oracle to 10th. Culture reshuffles back out in a 12th position.
Yeah, so now Oracle's on the outside looking in by 6 points, so he needs to get 6 positions if he wants to make it into the final 4. With just a quarter of the race left. Just under a quarter of the race, sorry.
And it's D-Dog that he's fighting for, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Kart Racer with him sitting in third, that puts him in.
Yeah. It puts him by just a little bit over D-Dog, so he still has to worry, but he doesn't have to worry nearly as much as D-Dog or Oracle.
And Vanquish has put on a big gap in between him and MVP. And as the ticker shuffles through here, yeah, nearly 2.5 seconds separating Vanquish and MVP. Kart Racer right on the back bumper, practically, of MVP. So, Kart, this is a position that he can gain right here, and that's 4 points that he would be gaining, increasing his security, so to speak.
Yeah, Kart's only 1 point ahead of D-Dog right now, so it's still very close.
Yeah, still very close, because the order going into this race was D-Dog was 7 to the good, Oracle was 6 to the good, and then Kart Racer being that 6 to the negative. And as they run, Kart Racer would have the third playoff position, 1 point over D-Dog, who currently holds the 4th spot, and then Oracle on the outside.
Yeah, Oracle on the outside by 4 points now.
So, as we approach the 10 lap to go mark, let's do a rundown of the field here. So first is Vanquish. Vanquish, as always, putting on a pretty much near mistake-free race, as he actually almost got into the long 3. but it's not going to set him far behind at all. Like I said, over 2 second gap between him and MVP. So Vanquish running a near perfect race today. He already was guaranteed a Final Four spot to Miami, so not really needing to do anything. And as AKU stated, he didn't really need to even show up tonight. But one thing that he does get tonight, if he does secure the win in these next 10 or so laps, is he does gain another championship point. And that'll make it to where Vanquish would have earned 3 points. So Vanquish will have a 3-point advantage over the drivers who did not gain a championship point. But he'll have a 2-point advantage over MVP. Speaking of MVP, his second position. Showed up a little bit late, didn't really do anything in the qualifying or in the practice session, but came into the second qualifying lobby, was able to run a lap time that brought him up to third. And Off-Road Hype was the one who qualified in second. So MVP is still running that consistent top 3 speed that we've seen him all season long. And he'll have a chance to fight for the championship in Miami next week. Kart Racer in the third position. Currently, right now, he has the third position. As of right now, Kart Racer does have that spot, and he is looking to hold this top 3, or maybe get a little bit more the closer D-Dog and Oracle get to him, because then obviously the points get tighter as you get to that top 5. So Kart Racer, he's shown top 3 speed tonight, and hopefully he's able to do a little bit more with it, maybe hoping for a late race caution, so then we can get that restart and he can really try to spoil the party for those top 2. Off-Road Hype sitting in the 4th position. He qualified second for this race, and as AK stated earlier, Off-Road is one of those drivers, when he's fast, he's fast. When he is able to really show his speed, he shows that he has a dominant car. He qualified second for today's race. He held second for a majority of the start. Here got shuffled back a little bit after restarts and some pit road cycles. Currently sitting in 4th. Off-Road, obviously looking to have a really good ending of his season. So then he can go into confidence next year. So then he can actually restart and start a full season with his team. D-Dog's currently sitting in 5th. He's the driver that is holding the 4th spot as of right now. And he is looking to run his race and just get himself in. So the more laps that we run here, the tighter it gets. And so right now, D-Dog holds that 4th position, and he's looking to have a chance to fight for his 2nd championship at Miami. Tomato drifts in 6th. He's been kind of quiet all night. He's ran near that top 5, and he's practically been within the first few rows on the restarts almost every single time. So here, Tomato showing his consistent speed, and hopefully he can have a solid ending to his season as well.
Caution is out.
That could shake up a few things.
Currently Oracle 5 points out. This could be a shot to get those 5 points.
Or a shot for the drivers up front to lose those positions. Well, looking back further, we have Rocket sitting in the 7th position. Off-Road sitting in the... Rocket's... Rocket, sitting in the 7th position, sitting just inside the top 10. Oracle sitting in 8th, so this would be a big opportunity for him to make up some spots. Sly the Uberman, haven't really talked about him often, sitting in the 9th spot. He's looking to get himself a solid top 10 day. And then Culture, currently the last car in the top 10. Panda in 11th, Smokey 12th, Alpha back to 13th, Marvel to 14th, RJX Cam in 15th, UDP Ruby in 16th, Rays Peasant in 17th, Deadpool in 18th, Subsonic to 19th, Goosey in 20th. So now, AK, could we see any late race takers to pit road here?
I mean, if you're Oracle, Cart, or D-Dog, I don't think you go. I think if you're not really in the championship or have to worry about the championship, I think we might see a couple people go, but I don't think we'll see many if we do see. But yeah, but what I expect is some guys at the back who really don't have much to lose if they go in and pit. So they'll go in and pit, get some fresh tires, and try and get a couple more spots. Other than that, no real shockers of who went in and who didn't.
Whoa! Subsonic close right there on the outside. So it does look like only we had a handful of takers there. Probably 2 to 3 drivers go to pit road. So now, if we look further back, how everybody is going to be set up here. Oracle will be 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, he's trying to get to his 9th spot right now. So Oracle would be 9th on the inside. D-Dog is just 2 cars ahead on the inside lane. So we could see if Oracle gets a good jump here on Rocket, he could dive to that inside the second they cross the start line. And D-Dog, he'll be 5th.
Yes.
So yeah. So he'll be 5th on the restart, and then Kart Racer will be 3rd. So those drivers being right next to each other. We're going to ride along with Oracle for this restart. We're going to see what's going to happen here. I believe this will be the final restart of the race.
Yeah, I expect Oracle to be very aggressive on this restart because he needs to get at least, at the bare minimum, 1 position ahead of D-Dog to make it a tie to give himself a shot. I don't know if he would win in that tie. I don't know if he'd lose in that tie. And to give himself a shot, he needs to get at least right in front of D-Dog.
Well, it's going to be the final restart of the race. 3 drivers still fighting for those positions. Here we go. Green flag back out. Oracle does look like he gets a solid start, but he's not going to jump in anywhere. He's going to hope from a slip up here in the front. Cam around. RZX Cam. RZX Cam. D-Dog, he got into the wall. He's shuffling back.
Did save it. I don't know how nobody hit him and he saved it, but a great save by him. But D-Dog fell back, and now D-Dog on the outside looking in.
D-Dog is all the way back to 13th position. Might lose even more because he's stuck on the outside. Meanwhile, up front, Kart Racer still to 3rd. Looking in for MVP for the 2nd position. He gets around him.
D-Dog 6 points currently on the outside looking in. Oracle just needs to set a solid pace now. He just needs to play defensive.
He said Oracle, whatever is going to work for him during the pre-race broadcast, but right now, there is a large gap to the cars in front of him. Between him sitting in the 6th position and off-road in the 5th position, there's a big gap. So there is no cars that Oracle can really pass at the moment. Meanwhile, Rocket and others are trying to gain ground behind him.
Yeah, right now Oracle just needs to set a pace. He doesn't need to push his car. He needs to play very defensive. 6 points is a fair bit. That's just, he needs 6 positions. D-Dog needs 6 positions just to tie with Oracle. As long as Oracle stays ahead of D-Dog, D-Dog has to break the tie, which I don't know what are the 2 drivers who the tie would go to at this moment. But it's better than having 1 point, being 1 point down.
And D-Dog, he is trying to make up spots. He just got around Marble for the 13th spot, looking in on RZX Can to try and get around for the 12th position. But after that, as the laps wind down, there's a gap between 12th and 11th right now. to where, unless there's a slip-up or a hiccup in between Oracle and D-Dog, there's not many positions available to work with.
Yeah, I mean, and
Oh. Loading screen. We're going to see if that means anybody has left or lagged.
Goosey.
It is Goosey?
Goosey is.
Oh, the ticker's pretty broken right now.
Big push from Rocket.
Yep.
Oracle.
Rocket, I think, is trying to help Oracle get up to those cars ahead of him, but that's going to be too much momentum in the corners. This might hurt him.
I don't say Rocket just trying to just stay there, because if you hook that corner panel, that's Oracle's race and season over.
2 laps to go. Meanwhile, up front, MVP and Kart Racer, they're working together here slightly to try and catch up to Vanquish to get a run around him.
It seems like Rocket's pushing was working. Obviously, Rocket is falling off now because he almost turned Oracle, got very close on turn number 1, and Rocket had to back out of it there. So now Oracle by himself, but he is catching up to Tomato just ever so slightly because Tomato's battling with off-road. So Oracle can look to gain a couple more positions potentially in this next lap if he can.
The fight for the points ever so close. Final lap of the race here at Indianapolis. 200 miles to be ran tonight. It might come down to the final lap.
Yeah, D-Dog just 8 positions out, so a late wreck or getting 8 positions could bring it to that tie.
MVP really focusing up front. Really trying to give that boost to Kart Racer. Kart Racer looking low to the inside of 3. Not able to get there. He overdrives the corner. MVP now goes through the second. Kart Racer to third.
MVP can line him up and get a good run. He might have a shot here.
Not able to get the run that he needs. Vanquish is going to win round 4 of the XRS playoffs. The fight for the points.
Oracle will get it. Oracle and I believe Kart will advance.
Yeah, D-Dog fell all the way back to 16th position.
There will be Oracle and Kart that advance.
Yeah, D-Dog had damage. So he got caught up in a last second incident.
Final 4.
Vanquish, MVP, Oracle, and Kart Racer will battle for a championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. For 2 seasons in a row, Oracle is going to get himself into the Final 4.
Might be a glitch, but it is showing more glitch third, so I'm going to assume that in this order it will be Vanquish in first, MVP second, Kart in third, and Oracle will clinch the 4th spot.
Maybe, maybe not, because as the AI are going around the track, shows Oracle is behind Tomato, and Tomato's in the 6th position.
No, Kart's farther up on the track. So I'm gonna assume it's in that order that I said.
Well, yeah, it's going. Yeah, the top 3 is going to be Vanquish, MVP, and Kart Racer. Kart Racer, he got the run. He tried it going into turn 3, but he really drove it in the corner deep and was not able to recover it. Now let's get the top 3 in here.
Alright, good.
Alright, so everybody make sure you have your audio box checked off in the party.
Mic check. I'm good.
And we will do a quick mic check just in case. Give me a second. Alright, mic check.
Mic check. Yep. 1, 2.
Oh, yep. My mic is-
Hear him in the back.
Alright, we're all good. Use me here. Alright, so here for top 3 interviews tonight after round 4 of the playoffs here at Indianapolis. We start with 3rd place. And 3rd place tonight, Kart Racer. Kart, you tried it. Going into turn 3 there on the final lap, it looked like you and MVP were trying to work together a little bit there to try and develop a run there in the final 2 laps. So is that truly what you guys were trying to do? Were you just trying your best to get around, or what was going through your mind there, especially after that final restart to finish off the race?
I was just hoping to see Oracle and D-Dog nowhere near me. In all honesty, I didn't care if I finished 2nd or not, but yeah, I was trying to work with MVP for a little bit, and definitely not feeling the best. Happened all week, so I was kind of felt a little off my game, but regardless, yeah, I had fun and all that, just trying to make the final 4, and I believe I did from where D-Dog finished. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a solid run. Should have done it in turn 4.
Yeah, and it does look like you have gotten yourself in per AK's calculations that he was quickly running. It looks like the final 4 will be Vanquish, MVP, yourself, Kart Racer, and Oracle. Those will be the final 4 drivers for Homestead Miami. So congratulations, you've gotten yourself in. How's it going to feel for especially next week? That now you know you have a chance to put yourself on your own page in XRS history and try to become a 3-time XRS Cup Series champion.
I think it's gonna really set a standard, not only just for me, but just for NASCAR in general, because I was the first to get 2 championships, and yeah, I don't have that many wins comparatively speaking to the rest of the league. But yeah, 3 championships, that'd be very nice to see, and especially hopefully sending this game off, for NASCAR at least.
Yep, and all good and well to you. Hopefully you feel better for next week and rest up, get some rest, recover, and make sure next weekend you're on your A game because you're going to need it. So good luck to you next week.
Thank you.
Now we move on to 2nd place, MVP. MVP, it looked like you weren't going to even show up to the lobby there for the most part. But then you got into the other qualifying session that Kart Racer held. You qualified top 3 tonight, and you showed it. You showed that you had top 3 speed consistently throughout tonight's race, and there were times where you were battling evenly with Vanquish. There was a little bit of rubbing. You knew that if you had started tonight's race, there wasn't really much that you needed to worry about in terms of locking yourself into the playoff or into the championship 4. But now you know you're gonna be fighting for that championship 4. So tell us what was going through your mind throughout this race, and how's it going to feel to be able to get chance to fight for your first championship next week.
I mean, not much was going on through my mind. The only thing that really came across my mind all race was that cone that kind of almost wrecked me in four, but because I think both Vanquish and Cart saw I almost made an unscheduled pit stop just because the cone sent me that way. But I mean, I'll say this, for my first oval race where I'm not wrecked, I'll take it. It seems like every oval race I'm part of a wreck, but I kept her clean all night. I stayed with Vanquish, stayed with Cart. Yeah, I just was having a blast. I didn't do exactly what I had scheduled earlier this week, what I was going to do. Try to get some people's hopes up, but instead I just ran a clean race, and I'll take second. Especially since it's an oval, I'll take what I can get on an oval.
Yeah, so we'll see. Homestead, I know, is a strong oval for you. And we'll see. Maybe you're going to put yourself in a position, like I said, to fight for your first XRS Cup Series championship. So good luck to you. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with you next weekend.
Yeah, and I know I'll still be battling Cart, Vanquish, Carts, Super Gun, Homestead, Vanquish, just because it's Vanquish, and yeah.
Now, AK, you can take over for Vanquish.
Yeah, obviously, Vanquish, you were locked in coming into this race. You already knew you were in the final four racing in Homestead. So, I mean, have you done any practice for this Homestead race, or was this sort of your practice for that race?
Well, this lobby was my practice, but I was just defending a title, really. I haven't lost in NASCAR on this track, and I kept it that way. My qualifying was quite bad. I thought MVP was going to qualify us. We were all like within thousands, so it got me a little nervous, but because it's just all about who starts first. I mean, on all ovals, because this game's draft is so bad, like it's almost impossible to pass. It's just.
I mean, he's not wrong. It shows.
Excuse me.
It's not insulting people's driving style. It's just, yeah, it's.
And everybody's saying tune. It's not the tune. You have two choices of a tune that turns and doesn't slide out, or a tune that slides out. So everybody complaining about the tune. I did it at Homestead. I did it here. It's clearly not the tune. It's yourself. So.
Obviously, some very close racing throughout today's race. What would you say the keys to this track were today?
Just being up front, because you get the jump, the restart, and like I said, I mean, if you're up front here, on any oval really, I mean, unless you make a mistake or hit a wall, you pretty much got it locked up, because, I mean, Cart and MVP, they were catching me loads in the straight, but they would lose it all in the corners because, you know, the draft is just so bad. It's just the game. I mean, it's just a flaw they have in the game.
Obviously, we knew you made it to the Final Four, but obviously, according to my math, we now know the Final Four, who they are, that being obviously you, Vanquish, MVP, Cart, and Oracle. So what do you think your chances are of being able to get the championship, and how hard do you think you'll have to push yourself, and how hard do you think the competition will be to get that championship?
It's going to be tough because it is an oval, and seems everybody's pace is quite a bit faster on ovals. I might have to practice. I don't know. It'd be the first one just to secure, but I don't know. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be position based again. Like, I have to just do good in quali and no pit stops and etc. Not get a bad caution.
Well, obviously, first of all, congratulations on making the Final Four. Obviously, I could have told you that at the beginning of this race, but obviously, and then secondary, obviously, congratulations on the win tonight. Obviously, adding another one to your total this season. And of course, good luck coming into the Final Four, and good luck on the championship.
Thank you.
So, that wraps up post-race. And AK, it was quite a race here that we saw tonight in Indianapolis. For the most part, the points, they looked different at almost every quarter of the race. At the beginning of the race, the points changed very dramatically to where we saw a couple incidents happen. We saw D-Dog go all the way from a 7-point cushion to then a 7-point deficit. And throughout the middle of the race, we saw Kart Racer now out, and then he was trying to look in, but then right there at the end, that final restart, that really shaped what exactly we were going to see, because already it was Kart Racer looking good, Oracle looking okay, and then D-Dog needing to be the one to make a lot of positions. But then there at the end, D-Dog got caught up in a late race incident on the restart, and that ultimately cost him a chance at a championship for Miami. So, AK, I think we saw just about everything for what kind of racing we were expecting for tonight.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a very action-packed race. We knew that every playoff driver was going to be driving very hard tonight, especially the ones on the outside looking in, such as Kart, Panda, and everyone else who was on the outside. We knew D-Dog and Oracle were going to have to be pushing as well, because they were very close to being on the outside looking in. And that's really what we saw tonight, is a lot of drivers, especially playoff drivers, very much pushing what they could do on this track. And obviously it led to a couple of incidences and a couple of drivers coming out of the playoffs and ruining their top 4 chances in their championship runs. But it was definitely an exciting race with a lot of drama, and a lot that affected the playoffs. Obviously, we've seen Kart come back from that 6-point deficit and all the way to making it up to the 3rd position and leapfrogging both D-Dog and Oracle. And then we saw obviously D-Dog fall back those 2 positions after that last wreck on the caution, which obviously wasn't his fault, and he avoided it. But obviously, because he avoided it, he hit the wall, and obviously got some damage and lost those positions because of it. So it was a very action-packed race and very worth watching it.
Yep, and thank you for being here with me in the booth today. And not sure if you're actually going to be in the booth with us next weekend. I know you said your schedule is going to be pretty tight, which would be unfortunate if you're not able to make the championship race. So hopefully you are there with us, because joining us in the booth next weekend will actually be SSR Mayhem. He will be joining me and hopefully AK in the booth next week for the championship race at Miami. Mayhem having a lot of experience broadcasting, obviously his league, MEA, being Mayhem's Endurance Association. So he has a lot of broadcasting experience. He has some radio experience as well, so could be a nice asset to have in the booth next week. And hopefully, AK, you'll join me and him there.
Yeah, I hope I can make it too. Obviously, I'd love to watch this championship race fold out. I think it'll be a very close one between all the top 4. All top 4 have shown tremendous speed throughout the season. Obviously, we have our underdogs like Kart and Oracle. We know Vanquish and MVP are always up there fighting for the 1st and 2nd position. So we obviously there are some underdogs. We have some expected champions. So it should be a very clean, a very nice race to watch. A very competitive race to watch for these final 4. So I really do hope I can make that one.
Yep, and it should be fun and exciting to see what's going on next week for the championship race for Season 21 in XRS for Miami. And before we go tonight, Subsonic, I see you in the chat. You remembered from what was said earlier the new series of what we will be running for XRS next season. It was marked as Season 1 because hopefully if these cars are in the new Forza Motorsport, that we do plan on bringing them along for the ride. But next season, XRS will run the Mercury Cougars. The Mercury Cougars will be ran for Season 1, and it's going to be fun, exciting. The schedule will be released later this week, and more details to come, obviously, after the championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. So There we go, the excitement. So, but yes, next season, the Mercury Cougars will be ran for the XRS series. And now that'll wrap up our broadcast this week from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Fan2403. We'll see you next week to see, between Vanquish, MVP, Kart Racer, and Oracle, who is going to win the Season 21 title. We'll see you then.